Today, we are doing something a little bit different. Now, I've collected these cat claws in the past because they're perfectly spike-shaped objects that I can use to kit bash something in the future. However, there is something that has a different shape that I've also considered using in the past. Man claws. Let me go ahead and get this trigger warning out of the way. If the idea of me using fingernails to craft something bothers you, you might as well just leave right now. Using a circle I cut from an old insurance card, I sanded it down and gave a nice generous Mod Podge layer to the top for stability. With that done, I had a nice base to work with. I added a little bit of dirt to the Mod Podge to give it a little bit of good texture. My original plan was to make a skeleton out of these fingernails, before I realized that would be a little too meticulous for me to do. Instead, I took what I had made so far and began making a skeletal hand, which turned out way easier than I thought it did. With the irregular shape of each nail, any of the issues with the anatomical correctness were erased. My biggest issue was getting the glue stuck to my pincers. After about 20 minutes of meticulous work, I had a nice skeletal hand on my hands. For the last bit of the fine work, I just had to snip off some extra ends that took away from the hand's major form. And the hardest part was done. Here it is after I finished up the base and primed the Mini. I had some plastic debris from a previous project that I used to mimic some buried stones. To paint the hand, I used a Reaper Master Series paint called Skull and Bones. They give you some free stuff if you pay for $40 worth of minis. For all of the dirt next to the rocks, I used a classic brown. For the rocks, I used classic gray. I wanted to make the hand look a little fleshy, so I put some superior red on it. The red was a little too intense, so I went back over it with some white afterwards. I used satin varnish for the hand and gloss Mod Podge for everything else. For the last step, I flocked the base. This came out very well. I am planning on making a left hand to accompany this one. And maybe a skull. I wonder what thumbnail I should use for the video.